Good morning, all of you. Today, let us discuss some more MCQs on mechanical properties of fluids. Let us begin with the question number 26. How does the coefficient of viscosity tau of the gases depend upon the temperature? Okay, he has given four expressions. Coefficient of viscosity of gases is directly proportional to square root of T, directly proportional to 1 by square root of T, and directly proportional to T square, and directly proportional to 1 by T square. The answer is first one, which is directly proportional to the viscosity tau of the gases depend upon the temperature is directly proportional to the square root of the temperature of the liquid. Then 27th question. During windstorm, roofs of houses may be blown off because first one option, wind creates high pressure over the roof, or wind creates low pressure over the roof, or third one, roofs are not tightly bound, or fourth one, none of the above. The question what he has asked is, during the windstorm, roofs of houses may be blown off. What he has given is, let me draw a small diagram. Okay, this is a house roof you can consider. Okay, and if a fast moving wind is blown over this house, what happens is it creates vacuum here, it creates a less pressure here. That's why the sheets of house will blown off. That's why option number second is right answer. Wind creates a low pressure over the roof. Here the wind creates a low pressure over the roof, that's why the sheets will blown off. So option number second, wind creates a low pressure over the roof. 28. Mobility of a liquid decreases with, I repeat the question, mobility of a given liquid decreases with whether it decreases in viscosity, increase in surface tension, decrease in surface tension. Mobility of a given liquid, whether it decreases with the increase in viscosity, or decrease in viscosity, or increase in surface tension, or decrease in surface tension. Mobility of the given liquid ವಿಸ್ಕಾಸಿಟಿ ಜೊತೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಗಿವನ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ increases with the increases in viscosity is right answer. Option number 1 is right answer. Okay, mobility of any given liquid decreases if its viscosity increases. This mobility of any given liquid decreases, okay, decreases if its viscosity increases, because we know that viscosity is the measure of easiness of flow. Okay, if viscosity increases, then the given liquid can't move that easily. So that is why the mobility of a liquid decreases if its viscosity increases. Here the option number 1 is right answer. Mobility of a given liquid decreases with increase in viscosity, because if viscosity increases, then it offers higher forces to flow against that flow. So that is why mobility of a given liquid decreases when viscosity increases. Then 29th question. A fine hole is made at the bottom of a cylinder of height 50 cm. What is the maximum speed with which water can flow out of the hole? Take G as 10 meter per second square. Okay, what he has given is, let me draw a small diagram here. This is a cylinder. Okay, this is a cylinder what he has given, and water is filled in it. Okay, water is filled in this cylinder, and a small hole is made at the bottom. Okay, a fine hole is made at the bottom of a cylinder. Okay, fine hole is made at the bottom of a cylinder. Let us assume, okay, here it is a hole. Okay, here it is a hole. then if you made this hole, then what is the maximum speed with which water can flow out of the hole? So for this we have a formula which is V equal to velocity with which water will come out from this container when the hole is created at the bottom is V equal to under root G into root 2 into G into T. Okay, let us see the solution. Okay, under root V equal to rho into G into H. Okay, the velocity with which water will come out of the cylinder when the hole is made at the bottom is formula rho into under root 2 into G into H, where G is gravity, H is height of the water column inside that vessel. Here root 2 into G into H, H is height also he has given. Then right answer is under root 10 meter per second. Okay, under root 10 meter per second. It is the option number 1. Option number 1. Option number 1 is the right answer. Okay, next question. 3 liquids of equal masses are taken in 3 identical cubical vessels C, A, B and C. Their densities are rho A, rho B and rho C respectively. But rho A, density of a liquid in vessel A is more than density of liquid in vessel B, and density of liquid in vessel B is less than density of liquid in vessel C. So this is the condition also he has given. Then the force exerted by the liquid on the base of the cubical vessel is whether it is minimum in vessel C, pressure in which cubicle the pressure will be more at the bottom, minimum in vessel C, maximum in vessel C, maximum in vessel E, the same in all the vessel. Okay, the force exerted by the liquid on the base of the cubical vessel is 4 options he has given. To solve this question, let us consider some formulas and let us solve this question. Okay, so what he has given is, actually first let me draw a small diagram. Okay, there are 3 cubical vessels. All are filled with some liquid, 1, 2 and 3. All are having similar dimension, and what he has asked is the pressure at the bottom of all these 3 vessels. Density of the liquids are different in all these 3 vessels. Here density in first vessel is rho A, density in second vessel is rho B, density in third vessel is rho C. That means that different liquids are placed inside a cubical vessels which are having a similar dimension. And the thing is, one more thing, condition what he has given is, you can observe here. Okay, what he has given is the liquids of equal masses are taken in 3 identical vessels. Mass of a given liquid in all the 3 vessels is same. Okay, he has given here masses are taken, equal masses are taken in all the 3 identical cubical vessels. That means that masses inside all the 3 cubicles are same, as well as the dimensions of all the cubical vessels are same. So what is the change here is density of the liquids which are kept inside the vessels are different. Okay, that is the one condition. Then next, which formula we will use is, here is, okay, we know the formula we will use to calculate the liquid pressure is P equal to rho into G into H. Okay, P equal to rho into G into H we will use. Here density we know that mass per unit volume, and mass we can write it as density into volume. Here m by a, mass by A, we can write it as rho into H. Here then P becomes rho into H is equal to m by A, where this rho into, instead of writing rho into H, let us substitute by m by A. Then P becomes pressure P at the bottom of all these 3 vessels becomes P equal to mg by A. Clear? In this formula you can clearly observe that here the pressure at the bottom of all the 3 vessels depends on the P equal to mg by A. Here it depends on mass of a liquid in all the 3 vessels, gravity in all the 3 vessels, and the area of cross section at all the 3 vessels. Clear? So here in this case mass is constant in all the 3 vessels. He has given in the question itself, mass is constant in all the 3 vessels. That means that m is constant for all the 3 vessels, G is constant for all the 3 vessels, area of cross section is constant for all the 3 vessels, because all the cubicles are identical in dimension, and masses in all the cubicles are same. G is same for all the three vessels. That's why answer 4 is right answer here, which is answer 4, the same in all the vessel. The force exerted by the liquid on the base of a cubical vessel is the same in all the vessel. Clear? Is same in all the vessel. Now 31st question. Water is in streamline flow along a horizontal pipe with non-uniform cross-section area. Okay, at a point in the pipe where the area of cross-section is 10 centimeters square, the velocity of water is 1 meter per second and the pressure is 2000 Pascal. The pressure at another point where the cross-sectional area is 5 centimeter per second. 5 centimeter square is to be calculated. Okay, what he has given is, okay, a water is in streamline flow along a horizontal pipe. Okay, along a horizontal pipe with a non-uniform cross-section area. Okay, cross-sectional area is not uniform. Let us consider this as a pipe. At a point 1, let us consider this as point 1, this as point 2. At this point 1, where the cross-sectional area is 10 centimeter square, here the cross-sectional area is 10 centimeter square and the velocity of the fluid is here is 1 meter per second and the pressure is 2000 Pascal at point 1. Then at another point 2 in the same pipe, let that point be 2 here, and the pressure at this point 2 where the cross-sectional area is 5 centimeter square, that we need to find out. So let us consider this some formula and let us solve what is the pressure at this point 2. Okay, we know the continuity equation. Which is A1 into V1 equal to A2 into V2. So discharge at inlet equal to discharge at outlet. If you consider any 2 points here, I have already considered point 1 and point 2. Here A1 V1 is equal to A2 into V2. Okay, that means that in any flow or in any given flow, product of area of cross section and velocity of a liquid with which it is moving is constant at all the points. Okay, this product A1 and V1 is constant at all the points in a streamline flow. Clear? And from this expression we can easily calculate the V2 because we know the A1 value, V1 value also we know, and A2 value cross section area also he has given at the point 2, and V2 becomes velocity at point 2 is equal to 2 meter per second, and this is over. Okay, we have calculated velocity at point 2. Now let us use Bernoulli's theorem. This is the formula for Bernoulli's theorem in the form of its head. Okay, here it is the pressure at P1 by rho plus kinetic velocity head is equal to, here it is the pressure head at point 1 plus velocity head point 2 is equal to pressure head at point 2 plus velocity head at point 2. Now P1 value he has given in the question itself, pressure at the point 1 2000 and density rho you put as it is because density of the liquid you don't know, plus 1 by 2 into V1 square, velocity at point 1 we know, and P2 we don't know, let's put it as P2, and density also we don't know, let's put it as rho, and half into V2 square, velocity at point 2 we have calculated which is 4, sorry which is 2 and square becomes 4. And now only unknown thing in this formula is and P2 as well as rho. Clear? P2 as well as rho, and if you keep on simplifying you will get this P2 and 2000 minus P2 which is equal to 3000 divided by 2 which becomes 1500. Okay. Okay, then here both density terms in both the cases will get cancelled. Okay, here is also density term, here is also one density term, both the terms will be cancelled, and only unknown thing here is in this equation is P2. Okay, that we can easily calculate, that is P2 is nothing but pressure at point 2, and that you will get as 500 Pascal. Then 500 Pascal means option 3 is right answer. Then 32. Question number 32. 27 identical drops of water are falling down vertically in air, each with terminal velocity of 0.15 meter per second. If they combine to form a single big drop, then the terminal velocity is. Okay, what he has given is, okay, 27 identical drops of water. Okay, 27 identical drops of water, okay, are falling vertically in air and with the terminal velocity of 0.15 meter per second. If all the 27 drop will become single drop, if all the 27 water drop will become single drop, then what is the terminal velocity, he has asked. So all the 27 identical drops are become combined, that means that its mass increases. That for that increased mass, what will be the terminal velocity, we need to find out here. Okay, so let us consider this expression. Terminal velocity is directly proportional to the radius square. We know that terminal velocity is directly proportional to the square of the radius of a given mass. Now we know that, let us consider this expression. Volume of big drop or volume of combined drop is equal to volume of 27 small drops. Okay, that's because all these 27 drops have become one single drop. That is the condition he has given. If all these 27 identical drops becomes one single drop, then what is the terminal velocity, he has asked. Volume of big drop will be 4 by 3 pi r square, because this formula is nothing but it is the formula to calculate the volume of a sphere. Okay, 4 by 3 pi r square, which is equal to 27 into 4 by 3 pi r square, because this volume is equal to this volume of big drop is equal to volume of the all the 27 individual droplets. Here in this expression we will easily calculate the r equal to radius of the big drop is equal to 3 into r using that formula. Now if you take the ratio of terminal velocity of a small drop to this terminal velocity of a big drop is equal to r square, radius of a small square divided by radius of the big sphere, and that becomes r square by 9r square, because we know that this r is equal to 3 into r. Okay, just substitute this big R equal to 3 into R, and finally terminal velocity of a big drop, you will get it as a 1.35 meter per second. 1.35 meter per second. Terminal velocity of a big drop is 1.35 meter per second. Then option number 2 is right answer.